All right. Shalom. 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 Trying to get situated, man. Um, of course, we want to start off by saying, Call Yahweh Shua Mashiach Yahushai. That's all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the word calls Jesus Christ. I'm going to be turning on my camera in a second. Um, Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Let me get something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Shalom. 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 Of course, how y'all feeling? We got a question. Can you explain to me some examples of gluttony? I'm having a bit of trouble deciding what to do. Yeah, you can use snack after a meal. Not fat, but I definitely do use sometimes. Yeah, nothing wrong with a snack after a meal. Let me just make sure. Um, just trying to make sure that everything's good. Right. Make sure I'm sharing the video. Um, but I mean, brother, if you look on the chunky side, ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. You can't say people are sinning because they're a little bigger than everybody else. You know? Of course, before we get into this, now, I'm not going to be going into the Dead Sea Scrolls this presentation, right? This presentation is more so dealing with, the caves itself, a little bit of information on the Dead Sea Scrolls, a little bit of information on, that's it. We know that it's not okay to lie. All right. I won't be talking about, people who are a little bit bigger in size. But we're gonna be looking at, the Qumran caves itself, just a wee bit. But there's a little place that's not too far from the caves where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. That's very interesting, right? There, we're going to be taking a little bit of look at that. But of course, we're still going into, the Qumran caves. So the next one, Lord willing, will be more in depth on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Why does that pop? And then, more so on the sect SECT, not SEX, of the Essenes. Right. Oh, that works. I'm messing up. Hold on. I gotta get it right. Do you think there's some scrolls that we still have not discovered? I believe it. There were when we go into the Dead Sea Scrolls itself, solely just focusing on the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is like part one. Probably should have put that. There were certain scrolls that were, broke. I don't know if broke's the word. Damaged to where we can't recover it. Right. Does that mean that changes the doctrine? Of who salvation is for? Do we have to keep the law? Is the Messiah real? No, not at all. Does it change the doctrine of who the Israelites are? Not at all. Why is this not sharing? Oh, it did share. Okay, cool. Shalom. Shalom was on. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. I like it, Picasso. Who knows? Without cheating, if you didn't look it up already, don't look it up. Who knows when the Dead Sea Scrolls were written? Who knows when they were written? Right? We popping today. Okay. Who knows when the Dead Sea Scrolls were written? Right? Shalom Zion. Yeah, Rob. The Trap Stars. All right, shout out to Sakari Miami. If you haven't subscribed to Sakari Miami, make sure you do that. Make sure you also subscribe to this brother on Insta or follow this brother on Instagram. Let me find his Instagram real quick. See if I can find it. Let me show you. If y'all want to keep up with, world events, right? Dawad Yasser Allah. And what it looked like, go follow him, go like all of his posts, right? He posts everything that's going on in the world, right? He always keeps us updated. He gives you all the updates, right? You don't gotta go to find all that. He gives it you, right? That's his job, right? That's his gift. All right, Shalom, Natasha and Corny. Shalom Zarak. It's a car strong. But yeah, make sure that y'all go follow him, and then subscribe to Sakari Baltimore. Listen, when I tell you the next presentation is gonna take me a minute, and it's gonna be a pretty extensive video. Oh, all praises. Yeah, so to say, right around 200 BC, from that that area, right? I like to say circle. But yeah, it was written over time, right? Last few classes been excellent. Can you watch them on plantation? Thought, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm kind of sad that Conquering of the Carnal Mind is finished, right? Because I found it very interesting. That playlist I have on the YouTube, but we got other things cooking up, right? Like this one. So before we get started, right? I gotta create a new cash app. Okay. I gotta create a new cash app. So just hold it for now, right? Y'all see, I'm gonna talk to Sakari Miami Rob, y'all what's up, a powerful brother, and he's gonna help me, make this look more professional. So just hold it. If you want to set it aside, you can set it aside or donate it to the school, Sakari Miami. You could donate it there for now until I create a different cash app. So yeah, it was written. The Dead Sea Scrolls wasn't just written in a day. It wasn't written in a month, right? These are scribes that carefully, transferred um, you know, the text from the old manuscripts onto the Dead Sea Scrolls, right, which we know as Dead Sea Scrolls today. I didn't put this on the slides, but the reason why they were hidden in these caves is because the Romans, during the time of the Roman Jewish War, they were on their way to Jerusalem, right? So not all the Romans, um, and then they ran into the civilization, right? So that's when they begin to hide these things in the mountains. So let me get rid of all of these. I don't need none of these. Boom, 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 boom. Anybody else be humming? I'll be humming like I'm back in, slave days. What do you think about the Samaritan Scrolls? I was thinking about doing a presentation on those as well, right? So stay tuned for that because those are interesting. Interesting, right? Uh, 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 uh. Okay, I need to pull this up. Um, Hold on, I need to put it live up on my phone. That way I can see your comments. I gotta keep switching back and forth. Guys, I'm live on two channels. So let's get. Oh, that's bad. I'm connected to my speaker. Hold up, y'all. That one again. Loud. So present. Frame. Smooth. So slideshow. Name from the beginning. Now, I'm going to be having to pause every now and then because I got to switch between two YouTube videos that's playing right now. I'm live on Vegas and on Phoenix. So I want to make sure that I see what y'all are saying. The water king. Appreciate you. The water. The hat is fire. So the Qumran. My bad. Hold on. I gotta get my juice activated. Right. Qumran. Right. Qumran is now a historical tourist site. Just east of the Dead Sea. It is in these caves that the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, right? 1947 to 1956, because the first person to discover this was a boy called Muhammad. Now, this is in a time where, the Arabs and, of course, the Jews or the Israelis, I should say, were beefing, right? So we've been gone, right? The true Israelites been gone. They're beefing in this land. So it was a little Arab boy who was supposedly looking for one of his sheep or goats, whatever have you. And he thought that that his animal was hiding in one of these caves, right? You see it right here by the A. Some say that he peeked in the cave. Some say that he threw a rock and heard something break. So that's how they were discovered, right? By a little shepherd, uh, little man, little boy, right? A young child. So after that, of course, we're gonna go more in depth, concerning the Dead Sea Scrolls. But just a little overlay, it was taken to a merchant, or a merchant took into the marketplace. Somebody bought it. Somebody else bought it. Came in the hands of a Jewish professor. I forget his name. It starts with an S though, right? Seen it, knew what it was. Then word got around. Now it's like, okay, we know that these things that are in here, that they cost money, right? Because the boy was looking for some gold. That's what he wanted. He wanted gold. He found these pieces of paper. He's like, well, I don't want this. I don't even know what language this is. So what's going on with my name? Um, that's how they begin. Oh, okay. Because this signet is in the way. That's how the first scrolls were found, right? I believe it was three of them in one of the caves. Um, then after word got around, now everybody's trying to search these caves that's around this area to try to find more scrolls because they know that they bring value. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, listen, we need more of those, right? They're important. Um, that's why it's over time these things got discovered. So these caves were inhabited between 150 BC, circa, listen, it's around the time frame, to 68 AD. Being the home of a sect of Jews around the time of Christ, the Essenes, right? That's what they assume, that these places were the home of the Essenes. And is the most famous archaeological site today, right? The things which were discovered in this site is the number one discovery um, in the world. It's like my phone is going on. So the Dead Sea Scrolls, just to go a little bit over, it says these caves where the caves where the Dead Sea Scrolls was located were discovered by a Bedouin boy named Muhammad the Wolf. I don't know if that's actually his nickname, but a lot of people are saying that's his nickname. Okay. Sometime after the discovery, many more were found and sold to be analyzed. Right, finding over 900 plus manuscripts, 50,000 plus fragments, 220 plus biblical texts, and 60 plus non-biblical texts. Right. So these caves contained a lot, right? And considering this is where we get our Old Testament from, right? Not solely this, but you'll get the point. Right? I believe they had every book but the book of Esther. So the Essenes, just to go a little bit about the Essenes, right? The Essenes were a mystic Jewish sect during the Second Temple period that flourished from the 2nd century BCE to the 1st century CE. Pliny the Elder and Josephus labeled the men of the priestly classes to be celibate, right? They would pray together, then eat and be immersed into water daily, right? So these people prayed together as a large group, then they ate together as a large group. Um, Pliny or I think it was just Pliny the Elder said that they practiced being engaged for 3 years before actually being married, right? 3 to 4 years before actually being married. All right, but we're going to go more into the Essenes in the next presentations. Let me make sure y'all not, you know, right? So there's let me make sure I do this right. Oh my god. There's a little civilization just 100 meters. Well, it says it right there. I don't know what I'm saying. But in the Qumran, there's about 11 caves, right? Once we get more into I can't wait for the Dead Sea Scrolls portion because it goes into the canonization. Oh, it's so beautiful. But just 100 meters from the Qumran caves itself, where the manuscripts were found, cave number 4, I should say, where the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, was the site where the Essenes were living. Listen, this is so interesting. It says in the north side of this site was a watchtower to see visitors approaching the villages or the village, or of course, threats. Whoever popping around. Okay, well, it's not showing me update. Let's see what I'm talking about. Right? In both images, we're able to see the plains as well as the Dead Sea. The bottom images show parts of rooms and of the kitchen, right? So what we see down here, I believe the kitchen is in this area, right? But clearly, this is ruins, right? It was destroyed by the Romans. In the time of the Roman Jewish War. It's like the scribes' room, right? These are the people who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? This is why it's important. The scribes' room, right, which we see now, this is 2 different pictures, right? Here it's this area, right? But over here is right here, right? You have the scribes' room. It's just a big old room, right? But there's a reason why they call it the scribes' room. It says the scribes wrote on papyruses, right? Leather and copper biblical books, apocrypha, external books, and the sect's own books, right? That's why when we go back and it says non-biblical texts, they will they'll label that as non-biblical. Right, so they dedicated the days of their life to copy the Old Testament on new scrolls, right, prolonging the life of the scriptures, writing thousands of manuscripts and fragments, right? The inkwells, right? So it says, hidden in the scribe's room, excavators found many inkwells containing dried ink that matched the ink on the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? So these are inkwells. They're fascinating. Hey. But in these inkwells, I'll just keep it. It says, nowhere else on earth was there any source of inkwells at the time of this civilization, right? I should say any amount as, the inkwells that are found in this civilization, right? I believe they had 10 inkwells, which were more than anywhere else on earth. Were there inkwells outside of this place? Yes, there's a typo. But they found more inkwells than anywhere else, showing you that these people were dedicated and they were making their practice of writing the old manuscripts onto new, papyruses, right, in copper, so that they may keep it going, right, through the spirit. It says the wells were made up of clay and bronze. It says the ink used for the Dead Sea Scrolls was more than likely carbon scooped, right? So this is where it's dope, because the place where the Qumran caves or the Dead Sea Scrolls was found in the Qumran caves, and the little civilization not too far from the Qumran caves, it's just dry land, right? It's basically like Arizona, but worse, right? Because we have AC, we have trees, we have buildings, we can see shade, so on and so forth. There's none of that, right? It's just rocks, hills, mountains, valleys, and this place. But we still had our form of keeping cool and everything. But you would wonder, how would they clean themselves? How would they grow vegetation? How would they drink water if they're living out here? How would they do these things? Well, they had a water system, right? But on the top, we see, well, the top and the bottom, we see the bathhouses or the bathe houses, right? Because mind you, they practice, a sort of baptism to where they would get dunked into water. And they'll do this daily. This is not something that they'll just do once, twice. No, they would do this daily. So they seem to practice cleaning rules. It's just almost. Um, um, they would the scenes practice cleansing rituals almost every day. They would make canals to collect clean water in water that would supply water for hundreds of people for many days, right? That's not right. You have certain places that are bathhouses. Then other pits are solely just water systems. Right now, of course, there were tops. It was a lot more meters, a lot more cleaner. The ruins, right? So it doesn't look like much, but we can only imagine what it looked like when it flourished. Because mind you, one of these water systems was capable. I'm breaking up. Hold on. Okay. Tell me how I sound now. Put a one in the chat. If my internet is still messing up. Salakia, Salakia, Salakia. Oh, praises. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. Maybe later. I like how the Wi-Fi keep changing my bill. They're trying to pull fast from me. Yeah, we smooth, man. Salakia, that ain't got nothing to do with my part. I paid my bill. My bill's paid. Oh, yes, sir. So let's go back. Slide. I paid my bill. My bills are paid. I'm not sure. And so come back over here. Boom. Oh, here it is. Select, yeah. I don't know. So I'm assuming that it broke up on this slide. So we'll just go back over this. Right. The Essenes practice cleansing rituals. almost every day. They would make canals to collect rainwater and other water pits that would supply water for hundreds of people for many days, right? One water cistern will supply water for many people, right? Just think if you got like a bedroom full of water, that gonna last you a long time, right? You know, if you're solely using that for drinking water, you have other water pits for washing, you have other water pits for produce, you have other water pits for, um, I don't know, whatever we need water for, right? This allowed them to produce vegetation by storing water, right? Now, here because I had to make it a big picture, right here is the little canal, right? And it goes all throughout the place and it pours into, certain water cisterns. Right now, the moment I begin to break up, I need y'all to let me know. Right, so Taziat, if I begin to break up, Shy. Let me, yeah, let me. So they would have certain canals that would connect to certain water systems, right? Because if you have one canal that connects to all water systems, I mean, it's going to take forever to fill up all of them, right? When you can just fill up all of them at the same time, right? Now, this is one of the water cisterns, right? It's just a big old pit. Mind you, you might look at that and be like, why the hell we have water in there? Clearly, we see by the sides, it was a lot more smoother, right? You see out here, it looks like they actually had some smooth clay going on, right? But destruction happened. um, these photos, right? These are work areas, right? And in little pits, there was um there was residue of honey from dates, right? Because we did have some type of vegetation, but just out there by itself, ain't no vegetation out there, right? You would literally have to cultivate some vegetation. It's not just out there like that. You see at the backgrounds, you have caves. So they would have blacksmith areas, pottery areas, places to sew, so on and so forth. Um, to let you know that listen, this place was well built. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a video or not video, a picture of like a bird's eye view of this place. And I'm gonna show you, right? But that's this slide. We're just getting into the beauty. I think it is beautiful. Listen, it's beautiful to see how these people were living while creating these scrolls. Right, I can't put them all in the same because this Dead Sea Scrolls presentation is going to be long. Plus the Essenes, the presentation, both of them combined is going to be a long presentation. So this one was more of a quick presentation where y'all can see and then go do your own research about these people, right? We had scribes room. There's pictures where it's just a whole bunch of clay pots, pans, bowls to show that this is the kitchen area, right? But this is the civilization and the people and where they were living at that created the Qumran caves, right? I ain't gonna hold you. I wouldn't mind living here. Ooh, goddamn, I wouldn't mind living here. It look dope. So that is the end of this presentation. You said that the Essenes believe in Hamashiach after his era. Uh, I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, I can't speak for all the Essenes. Cannot speak for all of them, but I know they had an issue with the temple work, and how the temple work was being operated. You know what? No, the Essenes, you know, and not practice. Oh, I gotta. No, yeah. They didn't. But I can't speak for every sin. But their doctrine, they didn't really practice following Christ. Henceforth, that's why they didn't write anything concerning him. They're really just focused on the Old Testament and those scrolls. Smooth. I got some good news. Got some good news. Got some good news. Yes, they were before Christ and after Christ. Shortly after Christ. They didn't last too long, too much longer after Christ, because excuse my language, they got their ass whooped by the Romans. So that's why they began to fled and store the Dead Sea Scrolls in the Qumran caves, but not many of them survived. But they were before and after Christ, and in the time of Christ. Where did, if I'm not mistaken, the Mayans and Incas did this as well. Did this? Oh, did it? Yeah. Listen, the Mayans, canal system. Oh my, bro, Lord in Christ, it is so cold. I'm trying to see if I'm about to go into something right now outside of the Qumran caves. Wait for next Tuesday. I ain't gonna hold you. I might. No, I can't. Sunday is Ezekiel 38 breakdown, right? God and Magog. I'm gonna put that up there for a premiere. But next Tuesday, because we're gonna go into the canonization. We're going into I don't know if I want to go into each cave, and what was found in each cave. I know that there was two caves where the majority of things were found, or the majority of manuscripts and scrolls were found and fragments were found. I know that there's two of them. I believe it was cave 4. Is it cave 4? Is it cave 4 or cave 5? Hold on. I'll look it up real quick. Which cave had the most? I believe it's K4. Yeah, K4. K4 had the most scrolls. Yeah, 90% of the scrolls and fragments found in the Qumran caves. Yeah. Ezekiel 38, man. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, hell yeah. What? Listen, this makes me want to. Oh, that's my hair. It makes me want to, watch like documentaries of the Aztecs and the Mayans kingdom. Because boy, they got the freedom to work and build whatever they wanted to. Oh, crazy. It's a co-op. But yeah, so next Tuesday, next Tuesday is gonna be the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Essenes. If the Dead Sea Scrolls is just a long presentation, we might just have to wait for the Essenes the Tuesday after that. Their sect. You know what? I might be able to do Sadducees, Pharisees, and the Essenes. If the Dead Sea Scrolls is too long, that's what I might do. Don't hold me on. But the next presentation is going into the Dead Sea Scrolls, the discovery date, the caves itself, which cave included what, maybe. And then go into canonization. It's gonna be so dope. It's gonna be so dope. Ooh, you know? So, any small questions? My hands is dirty, but do you know any programs or charity we can donate to help with archaeology? What do you mean? Do you know any programs or charity? Like we can donate to help people that are in archaeology or archaeologists? I want to do archaeology, but I'm not in a position to. I don't know. I ain't gonna hold you. Uh, I'm sure there are programs. I don't know if I would support those programs, but I don't know. Like, what do you, what do you like? You want to discover things? I don't know what you want. I don't need to laugh at you, brother. I didn't listen. You donate to give me a new chair. This thing. Yeah, I mean, I assume he was talking about going to school. Yeah, brother. I mean, if you want to go, I wouldn't like. Oh, um, you can there's certain courses that you can do. That's like you have the mainstream one, you have the major ones, and then you can also take like oh he just said it like minor ones. You can do that. I mean, but you would have to go to college for that. I wouldn't say donate to something. I would say donate to your college fund so you can go to college and do that. Right. Then you can add the resources and the programs to be involved in, and then you can go do it. Because I feel like there's more things out there like the Dead Sea Scrolls back up. Yeah, there's there's temple treasures somewhere around the area um of the Dead Sea that people haven't discovered yet. But I would tell you, what I'm saying, if you're an Israelite, focus more on teaching your people, right? But you can still do that though. I ain't knocking you. Um, Hell yeah, man. Buddy finna be Indiana Jones, boy. But no, that'll be cool though. We got a brother out there that's out there discovering things. That'll be cool. Um, but I would say, focus on teaching your people as well. You feel me? So whatever your walk is, if you feel like you want to pursue that, make sure that you teach, Israelites along the way who they are, what they're supposed to be doing, and why you're doing it, right? To shed light on us as a people. Right? You want to make sure that you do that as well. Teach the peoples. But yeah, so Ezekiel 38 breakdown is on Sunday. Friday, I think I'm releasing a video, of course, but um, I might have a discussion. I don't want to call it a debate because I don't feel like it should be a debate. It's a brother who generally, yeah, he has his viewpoint on the creation story. Um, and we might be having a discussion with him, right? He wants to present it to the world. He said he wants to talk to camps, people that's out there teaching. He wants to know if it's true, right? So it'll be a fun discussion. Not something that has to turn south, um, but it's something that right. So real quick, any small questions? And Con, I want to use a scanner and scan the whole land and find a scanner. Oh, you talking about the thing that like detects metal? Is that what you're talking about? What you talking about? Because archaeology is, you have to have a very 1 second. I gotta oh gotta have a very hawk eye. Um, because some things might be, mistaken for a regular rock, but in all actuality, it's something that is, valuable. Right, start boom, boom. Mm, mm, boom, mm, oh, eight. So who here knows? Because it kind of goes into a little bit of my bad. Where I was first talking about how around the time that the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered is when the Jewish people were warring with the Arabs, right? Because I know they had machines to penetrate to the ground and find stuff on the ground. Oh, you want to go find the treasures? Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe Yahweh doesn't want those treasures to be discovered. But I would suggest, doing it. If that's your gift, brother. Listen, you better put your gift to work or to use, I should say. Also, what do you think about Ron Wyatt? A lot of people say the discoveries are fake, but I think I would. It would really just depend on the discovery. I don't. Oh no no no. Yeah, it sound. Let me see his discoveries. Not discovery, because he the one who found that in Mount Ararat. Okay. I would have to. I ain't gonna hold you, brother. I would have to look at all of them. I don't. I know that he discovered, the Ark of Noah in Mount Ararat in modern day Turkey, but as far as you know, um, everything else, can't speak for it, right? But who knows and understands? Oh, facts. We need a museum with stolen Edomite artifacts in it. Facts. Who knows the breakdown of they are not all Israel which are of Israel? Because it do play a part um in this, right? Because you have the people who, discovered it. They believe that they are the chosen people of this land. Then you have the people who bought it. They believe that they as well are the people of the land. That's why they are warring in that land. So who knows the breakdown of they are not all Israel which are of Israel? Damn, nobody? Nobody know the breakdown? Don't y'all love being foremen at your job? No bueno. No bueno. Nah, I'm not doing it. Who know Agrippa? Oh, hey, there are strangers living in Israel, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Okay. The question is, Quanion, pay attention. Who knows the breakdown of they are not all Israel, which are of Israel? Right? So we have, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. I'm gonna need you to expound on that. Baruch Shah. There were strangers living in Israel. What you mean by that? Agrippa. Okay. Breakdown, no. I do know Harold was an Edomite trying to act like us and other little things. Okay. Herod the Jew, huh? On to 4.5, 6. All right, who else? We got 13 people in here. Nobody else know the breakdown? Mike 298. Okay, boom. The promise was to Isaac and his seed. Yes. But when it says they are not all Israel which are of Israel, what does that mean? I agree with you. The promise was to Abraham. The promise was to Abraham and his seed. But what does it mean when Paul says they are not all Israel which are of Israel? 1, 2, 3, 4. People converted to our ways and acting like us, but truly not us. They have to obey the law. Okay. I don't know the breakdown, but I feel like it's a good point for Deacon's recent debate about where all the land is located. I wouldn't, John, I wouldn't, you would have to explain it. Just like Revelation 2 and 9. Okay, smooth. Right? Um, does anybody know why I'm going from, the time of, the Jewish people and Arabs going to war for this land straight into they are not all Israel, which are of Israel? Does anybody know why I'm choosing that specifically? Right? Outside of they believe that they're chosen. Right? Yes, we don't believe that they're chosen, but we understand that that's what they believe. Motor City Free Press. Some Israelites were living like Gentiles. Okay, in the Maccabees, they forced people to convert, something like that. Well, that would they were forcing Israelites to convert. You know what you mean going on? Bro, I just need to know where is it where it says concrete. I'm looking for concrete. I can't find it. Okay, look. They was forcing Edomite. They was forcing Edomites to be Edomite. Where is this? Okay, so let's read this. Yes, we understand, verses 3 and 4. Oh, y'all can't see. Hold on. What is this? Naftufeans? Who is that? No, I did it. Come and shut up. Sagari. Who are these people? Oh, I need that. It was skulls discovered in Israel that were people that immigrated from Ethiopia. Hold on, how the hell you spell that? and have two funerals. I never heard that. Since 15,000 years ago. Yeah, the last 100 season. I mean, I gotta look into that. I ain't gonna hold you. Dating back to 9,000 BC is great. And 15,000 years ago, that's before creation. So I don't know. It's in the Hebrews to Hebrews document. Ooh, yeah, man. I would have to look into these people. I ain't gonna care, but them, um, uh, living 15,000 years ago is not true, right? Because the Earth is 12,000 years old, and they can't be living before anything else. Not plus and the same 16. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Damn, I just noticed that. Notice what? What you notice, my brother? So, Salaki, yo, I'm trying to do foreman duties. Trying to do this. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna put it on the screen. That way y'all can read it. But let me finish this so I can give y'all my undivided attention. Good luck here, y'all. Okay. So it's a filler name. John Connor from Terminator. Y'all leave the brother alone, man. He's just trying his best, man. 1 second, y'all. Oh, I apologize. I apologize. Um, shit, judgment is coming as the word strong. So let's read from verse 1. It'll help us. I say the truth in Christ. I lie not. My conscience also bear me witness in the Holy Ghost that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. Right? This is his fleshly brothers, his blood brothers, right? The Israelites, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, because he came from the children of Israel, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen. So he's talking about ethnic Israelites, and he's giving us a quick crash course of what pertains to us: the glory, covenants, the law, the service of God, promises, adoption. This is this is a quick crash course of what pertains to us. Now we get to verse 6, and it says, "Not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel." So immediately after, are we in the 70 weeks arc? No. Daniel 9 came in with uh also, because I looked on Israel News website and it says Israel had been at war 368 days. No. Those days that are in Daniel 9 are years, right? You can get an example from Numbers 14 where it says 40 days we wandered in the wilderness, but it recollects. But then it said I've given a day for a year, 40 years. Um, Also in Ezekiel 4, when Ezekiel had to lay on his side, it says I've given you each day for a year, right? And the same thing concerning Daniel 9, those are years, right? 490 years. Um, yeah. So each week would be 7 years. So it says, I appreciate you, John Connor. Because you gave me two things that I could do, right? Look up the Naphtalians, which is interesting, piqued my interest. Plus Daniel 9, right? There's a beautiful prophecy, a beautiful breakdown that I could do. Not next Sunday, because that's Ezekiel 38, but the Sunday after that. So I appreciate you, brother. So right after he tells us everything that belongs to us, the promises, he then begins to speak about they're not all Israel which are of Israel. Now, off-rip Christians use this to say, see, you don't have to be a descendant of Israel to be an Israelite. You don't have to be that. No. It means that there are people who are of Israel that do not belong to Israel. And look what Paul, listen, when I be talking, I just be doing stuff. Like moving my drink. He then mentions specific things. He doesn't speak about God's love towards the world. He doesn't speak about God's love in a grafting incense. He doesn't speak about, you know, non-Israelites now becoming Israelites. He doesn't speak about that. He immediately begins to speak about Abraham, Isaac and Ishmael, Jacob and Esau. He's immediately talking about that. So neither, because when we read it, it explains it. Neither, because they are the seed of Abraham, are they all children. So after he says they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, he says, and just because you come from Abraham, it don't mean that you're actually a child of Abraham. Okay. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So it excludes Ishmael. Meaning just because you're around, just because you how should I say this? I'm not even gonna say that. We're just gonna keep reading. But it says, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called, letting you know that it doesn't matter because you're a descendant of Abraham, even though Abraham existed when other nations existed. So that already excludes many nations. But then it begins to exclude Ishmael, right? And we read in Genesis. Uh, Genesis 17. Boom. I love to bring this up. Genesis 17:20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto you at this set time in the next year. So he's letting us know that Ishmael received a blessing, but the covenant was given to Isaac. Oh, how I was lost. Thank you, Yahweh, for finding it out. I felt this was a beautiful breakdown compared to the He didn't break it down to me. Who are the 12 princes of Ishmael today? They're Arab nations. This was a beautiful breakdown compared to how the other one says used to break it down. Oh, okay. I think you. Oh, I'm reading it wrong. So back to Romans 9. It says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. Now hold up. Because again, it's not just our job to tell you what this means when it's they're not all Israel which are of Israel, which is true. There are people who are claiming to be Israel that are not Israel. There are people who are claiming the land of Israel who do not belong to receive that land. Because mind you, he said earlier, who are Israelites. These are flesh Israelites, and they get the adoption, and they get the glory, and they get the covenants. Being God's people, being close to God than anybody else, that pertains to Israelites. My kinsmen, my flesh, not anybody else. Then he says, and the promises, part of the promises is our land. We would receive our land, Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel 20, Ezekiel 28, 28, Jeremiah 31, so on and so forth, Isaiah 60 and 61. The land promised to us is part of these promises. So him saying they're not all Israel which are of Israel, those who live in Israel don't, but they're not Israelites. Those who are claiming to be Israel, they're not Israelites. But this is who was promised to the descendants of Israelites, not just because you claim something or try to follow something. That doesn't make you these people. So why do we see that? Or where do we see that? Is because he begins to say, just because you're of the seed of Abraham, it doesn't make you a child. Just because you live in a land, just because you act like something, that doesn't make you the people. You have to be the people. But in Isaac shall your seed be called, because if you descend from Isaac, that determines if you're really an Israelite or not. He goes more in depth, but it says that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. Hold on, because Paul mentions this phraseology, the children of the flesh, somewhere else, right? And it starts. Let me put Genesis 19. Oh, my bad. Sure it is. Genesis 19. I believe it's 18. Nope. Not 18. So, oh, Genesis 21. I'm tripping. So he says that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise. These are counted for the seed, right? Hold on. Give me 1 second. So we need to focus on two things, right? We need to focus on the children of the flesh and the children of the promise, right? This is going to give us understanding of what Paul means in verse 6, where he says, they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Hold on, I'm backed up. More than sure that is. Yeah, I'm live on Las Vegas YouTube and Phoenix YouTube. So there are certain comments that are on a different channel, right? Whatever video you're on or whatever live you're on, stay on it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm live. That's why I'm reading it for you. When you're done explaining, can you explain Romans 14, 6, and 7? Because I read that today, and some people might say that it doesn't matter. Observe feast and dietary laws. I got you, brother, if I remember. So, again, It's saying that just because you are a descendant of Abraham, it doesn't make you part of his promise. It doesn't make you a child of the promise. It says that is, they which are the children of flesh, these are not the children of God. So whoever is the children of the flesh, that's not the children of God. But the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Again, he's expounding on verse 6. So when we go to Galatians 4 and verse 22, it says, for it is written that Abraham had two sons. He had more than two sons, but we're just focusing on Ishmael and Isaac. The one by a bondmaid and the other by a free woman. Okay. But he, the son, who was born of the bondwoman, was born after the flesh. But he of the free woman was by promise. Hold on. Paul said, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, the offspring, the descendants of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Watch this, y'all. Genesis 21 and 9. That's what it was. It's not 19. It's 21 and 9. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had bore unto Abraham, mocking. Ishmael is mocking Isaac. That's what's going on. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Sarah, cast out this bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. This woman, this bondwoman, Hagar, and her son, the child of the flesh, Ishmael, shall not be heir. What is heir? Watch this. In the Greek, it's kleronomos, but in the Hebrew, it's yerash, right? Yerash, yerash. It means to take possession of, to inherit, right? To cause to inherit. What word am I looking for? Possession. Your inherit. It's something that is promised to you. Succeed, possesses, expel, inherit, right? It is a promise, right? Basically, in other words. So Sarah says in Genesis 21 and 9 through 10, says that Hagar is a bondmaid and her son. But then it says, I'm having deja vu right now. But then it says that I'm having mad deja vu right now. Sarah is, it's not stopping. Oh Lord. Sarah and her son, her son is the children of the promise, right? So just to put it in simple terms, Hagar is the bondmaid, Ishmael is the son of the flesh. Sarah is the free woman, Isaac is the son of the promise. So when we go back to Galatians 4, it says, but he who was born of the bondwoman was born after the flesh. He is the progenitor. Yeah. Well, he is the forefather of a nation of people called the Ishmaelites. But he who was of the promise, which was Isaac, my bad, but he of the free woman, which was Sarah, was by promise. That's speaking about Isaac. Why is that important, Tazarab? What you going into? Because when we go back to Romans 9, it says, they which are the children of the flesh, mind you, he just said, just because you're a child of Abraham, it don't mean nothing. But in Isaac shall your seed be called. Not Ishmael, Isaac. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, which we know is Ishmael, these are not the children of God. But the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Oh, wait. Hold up. Let me make sure y'all paying attention. I'm okay now. Okay. In the Blue Letter Bible, I like to use the jump to scripture index to see how the words change. Come on. Oh, you might have been bringing that up for inherit. So now we understand that we can prove just off of Romans 9 and Galatians 4 and Genesis 21, that the children of Ishmael are not the children of God. Nice. Verse 9, it says, but this is the word of promise. Okay. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son, Isaac. And not only this, he's expounding, not only this, but when Rebekah, the wife of Isaac, also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, letting you know his audience is the children of Israel still. So it goes from Abraham excluding Ishmael, going to Isaac. Now it's with Isaac and his two sons. Verse 11, for the children being not yet born, still in the womb, neither having done any good or evil. It's not because of what they did wrong or what they did rightfully or righteously. That the purpose of God, the promise, according to election. Hold on. We don't do this. We don't do this enough. Right? The act of picking out. He's racist. Choosing of the act of God's free will by which the foundation of the world he decreed his blessing on persons, his person, elect, divine selection, divine racism, abstract chosen election, right? So it's not of their works. It's not of their doings, but according to divine selection might stand, not of works, but him that calleth. It was said unto her, Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger. This is Genesis 25, right? Just 4 chapters after the promise, or after Sarah said, get this bondwoman away from my son, or get this bondwoman and her child away from my son. But in Genesis 25 and 25, well, just kidding. Verse 21, it says, and Isaac entreated of the Lord for his wife, because she was having pain in her womb, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children just kidding. That was before that. I bet. Spoke too soon. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. It's a lot here. So, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, Rebekah, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 2 people are going to be separated. He's talking about Isaac and Jacob. Esau and Jacob. It says, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Whoever comes out first is going to serve the one that comes out next. This is what Paul is speaking about when he says, it doesn't matter what these children are doing. Yahweh, the living God, said, this is what's going to happen. Right, and then the babies were born. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 12 in Romans 9. As it is written, now he's quoting Malachi 4. Jacob have I loved. Malachi 1. Yeah, Malachi 1. I'll begin and switch up. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Why is he doing this? Who knows why Paul strictly goes into um Ishmael not receiving it and Esau not receiving it? Why did he go into that after saying they are not all Israel which are of Israel? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows why Paul would go this route? Yes, but I'm saying there's a bigger, more continual problem that he's addressing. It was the house $4. Um, no, not the answer to my question. What I mean, Kwanayan, is Paul speaks about they're not all Israel which are of Israel. Then immediately after that, he goes into showing us how Ishmael don't matter, but Isaac do. And then Esau don't matter, but Jacob do. He's going into that specifically and not everybody else. Because there's many other nations of people that are existing on this earth, but he's specifically addressing two nations are not part of it, and these two, well, not these two, but these descendants are. Why is he choosing that? Chosen line, yes. Okay, that's fine. Ishmael and Esau are the two major nations trying to be God's chosen people. They're the two nations who constantly try to claim the land, claim the promises, claim the special position close to God. These are the two nations who are always trying to take our spot. This is why we say, I said, Psalms 83 and 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones, your the ones that you protect. But this is speaking about them taking crafty counsel against the chosen people of Israel. They have come. They have said, come, let us cut them off and be in the nation, that the name of Israel be no more remembrance. The chosen, y'all can't see my screen. The chosen people are no longer going to be known as the chosen people, but we will. Well, we will be. The name of Israel, the status of Israel, the glory of Israel is no longer, but we are going to take their place. It says that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Look who it names first. the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites. And then it gives this little punctuation. These are the two main nations that are constantly trying to take us out of our position. You feel me? Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense? The two nations, one of them being the chief is Edom, the second in line would be Ishmael. These are the two people who constantly trying to take our place, right? Who are constantly trying to be the owners of the land, who are constantly trying to be the chosen people of God. These are the people who are constantly born, just like that. This is why it's no difference, right? In Psalms 83, it been talking about this. Listen, why they? Because Ishmael mocked Isaac because he's jealous. When kids tend to when kids tend to belittle somebody else or belittle another one, it's for multiple reasons. But one of the main reasons is because they're jealous of what somebody else has. If he begins to bully another kid, it's because that kid comes to school with a nice toy, right? Ishmael been showing his jealousy towards Isaac since Isaac was a baby, because he spiritually he just knew I don't have it, but he do. It's the same thing with Esau. His hatred towards us because they know we is hold up, we them boys. Oh man. But that's how beautiful the scriptures is. It's how beautiful the scriptures is, right? And of course, there are the people who did partake in finding the Dead Sea Scrolls and um not I want to say translate. Well, yeah, translating the Dead Sea Scrolls. So therefore, they feel like we're still the chosen people. We found it, we translated it. We're the chosen people. That's fine. But the true children of Israel, it's like, listen, y'all had to do all the dirty work. Y'all got to search the cave. Oh shit! Y'all got to search the cave. Excuse my language. Search the caves, dig in the rocks, stay out there. Y'all had to do all of that, and then you had to go through organizing the manual. Listen, when I show y'all these pictures, it took time to take all these fragments, because mind you, it's over 50,000 fragments, and it's not like all in order. They're scattered. So they had to put these fragments together. They had to do all that work. And guess what? We ain't had to do nothing. They just put it in our hands. Therefore, we could walk around with this, and we didn't have to do nothing to put all those manuscripts to this. They did it for us. So it's a form of mockery in through God to us, not to us, but to them. Like, listen, y'all got to do all that work, and you gonna get this book in order, and you gonna get this book translated to where they can read it, just for them to figure out that they are the chosen people of God. So you did all that work just for this chosen people, right? So it's like a form of And listen, I'm so happy to serve y'all, boy. But yeah, man, that's what's going on in here. That's what's going on in here. So everybody understand the breakdown now? There's more in Romans 9 that a Christian would bring out, but just for that, that's the Romans 9 and 6 breakdown. Um, oh, praise, count it all joy. Oh, that's not what I agree. He hit it from them to the left. Yeah. You gonna use what? Um. Oh yeah, come. My dad is in Islam, and he always says we lost. My bad. And he always says we lost our inheritance. You think showing this? Uh, I don't know, bro. That's a good question. I don't know how you would do it. I see why you came with that thought. Um, I don't know if you can be able to use it. Um. Oh yeah, 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 most definitely you can. I forgot I read Psalms 83. Yeah, most definitely you could. Uh, it's a long breakdown though. I mean, if there's a way that you can shorten it, I would just read Psalms 83. Um, but yeah, any questions before we close out? Any questions? Listen, stay tuned for next Tuesday. I couldn't see his message in the chat. No, I'm live on Phoenix and Vegas. Um Next Tuesday will be more in depth on the Dead Sea Scrolls itself, right? And if it's not too much longer, um oh okay. That's what I assumed. Um if it's not too much of a long presentation, then I'll go into the Essenes who um said to write the Dead Sea Scrolls. Uh because he always likes to say we messed up too many times, but we want to try to show him that we are the one. I got something for you. Let me share my screen. So watch this, brother. This is one of my favorites when they try to say, we messed up, so therefore it was given to somebody else or it was taken away from us. Leviticus 26 and 44. Leviticus 26, um, it's like Deuteronomy 28. But despite all this, one second. I will not utterly reject or despise them while they are in exile. This is in the NLT. While they are in exile in the land of their enemies, which we are today, I will not cancel my covenant with them by wiping them out, for I am Yahweh their God. Yahweh does not break his end of the bargain. He don't. He upholds his end of the bargain. That's what he stands on because he put his name on it. his end of the bargain is to be our husband. Therefore, he doesn't stop doing his job because we stop doing ours. For their sakes, I will remember my ancient covenant with their ancestors, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt in the sight of all the nations, that I might be their God. I am their Lord. These are the decrees, regulations, instructions that the Lord gave through Moses on Mount Sinai as evidence of the relationship between himself and the Israelites. My trap question would be, show me in these decrees, regulations, and instructions where God said if you break it too many times or too much, I'm now going to give it to somebody else. You're no longer going to pertain or hold this covenant and be the possessor of this covenant, right? That's one of my favorite places to go. Leviticus 26:44 in the NLT for the rest of the chapter. Does that help you, brother? Come on, man. I appreciate you. He says, I have enjoyed the I have enjoyed the I've never heard that. Oh, methodology. I heard that. Huh. Cool. Down according to systematics. Y'all gave me new words. Of the scriptures into fine powder. Oh, sorry. Slow grinding of the scriptures into fine powder. It really helps me learn something new. I will be checking for the next lessons on Praise the Most High. Next lesson will be on Friday. Sakari Phoenix is releasing a camp video with the officer Hadar. And then I'm going live right after that. It's going to be a small breakdown, but Sunday is Ezekiel 38 breakdown. It's a prophecy concerning not only Russia, but also the end wars, right? I'm talking about like before we get into the kingdom, the war with Christ and the elect with the earthly nations. Count to what I'm going to give him all praises. He might say it's corrupted, but then I'm going to tell him the Dead Sea Scrolls are 200 BC, which is before his time. Facts. All right, my praise someone's out tomorrow. All praises. Shalom, sister. Right, so how y'all all gonna come up when I'm done with my lesson? Y'all something else, boy. Listen, it feels up to me, boy, I'll be on them for 3 years. 3 years, 3 hours. So, a habathon to Yasharala. A habathon Yasharala, I should just say. Of course, I want to end it. First of all, share the video. We went over the small ruins and civilization that was dwelling near the Dead Sea or near the Qumran Caves where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. The ink that was in the ink wells was a match to the scrolls and the writing that was on the scrolls. Their water cisterns, their watchtower, and small information. Next Tuesday, of course, again, is the Dead Sea Scrolls presentation. So make sure that you show up on that. That's going to be more in depth, more edificational, I believe, than this one. But we also went into Romans 9 and 6. They are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So make sure that you watch that again. So yes, Sunday is Exodus, Ezekiel 38 breakdown. Tuesday is the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? And we're going to go into a little bit of canonization, right? already fulfilled, but what are other prophecies talking about war in Israel? There's a lot of them. Uh, if you're talking about like in the end times, just wait for Ezekiel 38. But there's a lot of, the one that you questioned, Daniel 9 and Daniel 9 to 70 weeks. That's a war in Israel. Well, the latter part, the 7 weeks, the last 7 weeks, that's the war in Israel, right? The 7-year Roman Jewish war. Luke 21 and 24. Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So on and so forth. But yeah, so listen, please, Baba Bashar, share the video. Make sure that y'all tune in on Friday for the video that's dropping. Like and subscribe to Sakari Miami. Like and subscribe to Chief Dome. Like and subscribe to Sakari Long Beach, as well as Sakari Las Vegas and Sakari Phoenix. Make sure you do it with Dallas and any other Sakari camp you see out there, right? We love y'all support, and we love y'all, sharing the videos, right? Helping us out get this edification out, right? Ahabatham Yasharallah. But with that, I want to say, call Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. That's all praise to the Most High in the name of His own begotten Son, who the Word calls Jesus Christ. QUMRAN Yasharallah, and y'all stay safe out here.